Nice to have you on, Steve, if you're there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2020. Preliminary matter. This is John Regan, Chair of the Office Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons participating on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in an affirmative.
Aye. Aye.
Ron?
Present.
Nick?
Affirmative.
Steve?
John, I can hear you barely. I don't know if you can get a little louder, but I'm here.
Town officials and employees participating, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town Planner Adam Menard.
Here.
Assistant Rachel Pressey.
Here.
PIS Director Darlene Coyle.
Here.
Good evening. This open meeting of the Town of Auburn Planning Board of Tuesday, September 8, 2020 is now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order, March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, in order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gathering, and as such, the Governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the meeting. For this meeting, the Planning Board is convening by remote participation for the public only. Although some members of the Planning Board are physically located in the selectmen's meeting room in the Town Hall, those members and employees are practicing social distancing in accordance with Governor's orders. For the public to join the meeting remotely by telephone, call 1-312-757-3121 and enter access code 133747477. Or the public can join via computer at gotomeeting.com/join/133747477. Remote access information has been posted on the town's site, identifying how the public may join. Please note that these meetings are being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. Accordingly, those members of the Planning Board, employees, and members of the public who participate, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Meeting materials. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. Meeting business and ground rules. We are now turning to the first item of the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, the Chair of the Board, will introduce each figure on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the Chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the Chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in discussions with other members, please do so through the Chair. Take care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the Chair will afford public comment as follows. The Chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak and identify their names and addresses only. Once the Chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call on each name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. If technical difficulties arise, the Chair suspends the meeting while attempts to resolve are made. We'll keep accurate minutes noting any discussions or disconnections and reconnections of the members. We shall begin. First on the agenda tonight is applicant Eastland Partners Incorporated, request for site planning approval under section 3.2.2.1 and 5.4 of the Auburn zoning board bylaw for a two-family dwelling and property located at 28-30 Albert Street, Auburn, Mass. Map 65, parcel 7. They requested a continuance to the next meeting. Do I have a motion to continue this?
I'll make that motion, John.
I'll second it, John. Wendy Steinhilber seconds.
Thank you.
Honeybrook.
All those in favor? Wendy?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Nicholas?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
And myself as an aye, it is a vote. Second up tonight is applicant SZLL Realty, LLC, a definitive subdivision plan for a 13-lot single-family home development on property located at 178 Hampton Street, 19 Eaton Ave, map 12, parcel 120. Is there anyone here representing SZLL Realty?
Mr. Chairman, this is Donald O'Neill. I'm a lawyer in Worcester here on behalf of the applicant this evening. I also expect that I would have Robert O'Neill, who's done the survey work, and Joe Graham, who's done the engineering work. With regard to this project, there had been basically in response to previous comments from Graves, a redesign, if you will, of the subdivision to eliminate the 3 A&R lots and to concentrate just on the actual roads that would be located on the road to be constructed. I'm sorry, the lots to be located on the road to be constructed. And part of that review, I believe, entailed payment of an additional review fee that Mr. Menard had informed us of. I believe that payment was submitted early last week, but with the Labor Day and weekend and holiday and so forth, I understand that payment has been received, but that we don't have a report back from Graves yet in terms of the most recent submission. So my expectation would be that we would be available for any questions which the board might have, but also understand that to the extent that you're waiting to hear back from Graves, we would expect that under any circumstance that this matter would be continued to the meeting on the 22nd. And if that's correct and that you're waiting for their comments, before discussing this further, then I would ask that we also be continued to the next meeting with the hope and expectation that if we would have some sort of response from Graves in the interim and with sufficient time, maybe a response back from us. So we are open at the board's pleasure in terms of if you've got any additional questions that you have at this point, we can try and address those, or we can wait until you hear back from Graves and then deal with everything at once.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any comments? Let's start with Wendy. Wendy?
Yes, I just want to be clear. So the lots 6, 7, and 8 on Hampton Street, are those are considered the A&R lots?
That's correct.
Okay. So we're only focusing now what's going on in the cul-de-sac at this time?
Yes.
Okay. And I was looking at the elevation, and am I seeing this correctly where these lots drop off by about 30 feet down from Hampton Street down to the proposed road A?
I don't have the, if Bob O'Neill's on the phone, I guess I would ask him maybe to respond to that. I know there's, initially the idea of including those lots was to tie them into, make the connection into the subdivision for utilities and so forth, and that through the elimination of the lot, those lots basically helped address some of the issues that have been raised by Graves with respect to the detention basin for the subdivision. But we do recognize that there is some significant grade changes there, and I think the expectation or understanding on our side would be that I believe all those lots would require, I think, site plan approval, at some future date, before the board, before they could be constructed on bond, but that we were basically just deferring that for further action at a later date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'm all set, Chair, John.
Ron, do you have any
John.
comments?
And I'd like to ask him, how many lots are we looking at now? 9?
I believe it's I think it was I'm sorry, but I believe it was a 13 lot subdivision.
Yes.
So we're looking at 10 lots.
So, as you come down the road into the cul-de-sac, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got 4 of the three others. Are those fronting on Hampton?
The 3 lots that were fronting, there were 3 lots, some of the larger lots that fronted on Hampton, and basically the utility connections and so forth were basically through the back of those lots into the subdivision. But they were not accessed by the subdivision. The utilities were, but the houses weren't.
Those last 3 houses on the Hampton Street side are accessed by Hampton Street, whereas the first 5 are accessed by the cul-de-sac road.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the big one off the cul-de-sac. Yep. Okay, I'm all set.
Thank you, Ron. Nick, do you have any comments?
No, I don't, John.
Steve?
So I believe Lot 8 is being removed from this plan, but it shows grading work to be done on that. Is that still planned to continue?
The grading, there's got to be some necessary regrading, I think, on those, certainly in the lots that front on Hampton Street. But as I say, we would be dealing with, our expectation would be that would require a site plan approval either as a group or on an individual lot basis as they proceed with construction of those lots. And we're just separating it all together from the subdivision proper, so that would be not really something that we would be asking you to look at or comment on at this point, other than, as it relates to the subdivision of the lots that actually have frontage on the new road to be constructed.
Correct, but if you're going to be regrading that calculation's all into the new basin, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Where the sewer main goes out and connects onto Eaton, I believe you guys were talking about having that tree remain. Is there enough distance to leave that tree in place with the root system, or is there going to be excavation needed on that may potentially impact that tree existing or needing removal?
Yeah, if Bob O'Neill Daniel's on the phone. I'd ask him to respond to that. If he's not, then I can try to respond. Yep.
I'm actually here, Don. No, the intent is to try to save the tree. With the regrading and eliminating the 3 lots that have frontage along Hampton Street, we were able to change some of the grades on the slopes for the pipe. So we're confident we could save that.
Okay. And then I think when you originally came, we were talking about the access to the basin being elevated from the street on the north of the plans there. I didn't see what that elevation was, and if you guys plan to grade that down to the street level, or what the slope would be to access that, as well as what type of gate is going to be proposed for that area.
Bob, can you respond to that as well? Or?
Yeah, actually, the intent is to slope it down. It will have somewhat of a grade, like 6% getting down to that road. As far as the gate, if the board has something in mind that's specific to what they'd like to see, then we'd be more than happy to provide that. Typically, it would just be a gated area, standard gate, chain link fence style gate that would just prohibit anyone from going up in there.
Anyone from walking up in there, or for driving?
Driving.
Okay. I don't have a preference, but if it's going to be on the lower end of that grade where it's visible from the street, I think aesthetics should play into the decision.
In response to that, you know, if there's something specific that you want, you know, in terms of the type of fencing installed or something of that nature, we're you know, open and flexible to whatever the board thinks would be appropriate for that location.
Okay. And we had also previously talked about the driveways for lots 9 through 13, and they're sloping down on the road, and making sure that any runoff is captured and not running across the road but around the road. I don't know if that was still captured in the plan. I believe there is a little bit of culvert, but wanted to see what the driveway slopes were going to look like on that.
Bob, can you respond to that, or?
Yeah, I know. I was hoping Joe Grant would be on. Apparently, he hasn't been able to get on, or something's stopped him from attending. But the intent was he originally had sort of an open swale along the roadway, but that's been eliminated. But yeah, the intent would be to provide a positive pitch on the driveways, and obviously we don't want to have any runoff going towards any other properties.
John, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, I have a few comments myself. On page 4 of the plan, on the upper left-hand side, you show the sewer easement, but it's the one pointing parallel to Hampton Street, but the sewer actually runs from the cul-de-sac between 2 properties across the back of another property, and that's not labeled as an easement. And the other thing is the way you have that marked on the plan, where you go from, it's 134.6 and 132.42, those 2 parallel lines that have the bearings of S71 2802. That area right there, that designation that you have on the plan, according to your legend, is a town or city boundary, and it's neither one of those. And then, when you get
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure we had expected. I had expected that Joe Graham would be participating, and he's not on the line. I'm not sure why. That is something certainly that I could relay to him and have him address, along with any other comments that we may, receive from Graves and so forth. At the next meeting, I myself, it's not something that I can really respond to. I've got a law degree, not an engineering degree.
Okay, if you go to page 6, it's called the grading plan. Just to the left of where your proposed detention basin is, where the low spot in the basin is 530, the high spot for the rim is 535. If you look just to the left of that, that's the swale that goes right into the next guy's yard. Anything that doesn't go in that basin is going to run right into the other people's yard. I mentioned this the last 2 times that you came before the board. It still hasn't been corrected. The water has to stay on this project. It can't go onto the neighbors. Because what you've done here is you can't increase the slope, and you can't increase the flow onto somebody else's property, and that's exactly what you've done here, or what the engineer had done. You might want to tell them that.
Bob, is that something you can respond to, or?
Pardon me?
No, I'd actually defer to Joe Graham, but I would certainly take a look at that.
I have no idea what you're saying.
I really would need Joe Graham for something like that.
Again, on page 7 on the utility plan, you don't show the easement for the sewer where it goes between the lots. And then when you go to page 8, you show the low sewer manhole, which they all drain to, and then it's supposed to head out, but you don't show the pipeline leaving that like you do on the previous 2 pages. That's all got to be correct. This is the stuff Graves is going to come at you with. And you have listed on the plans on the bottom of that page, page 8, under the profile section, you have sump elevations listed for sewer manholes. There are no sumps and sewer manholes, only catch basins and possibly drain manholes. That's all I have. Oh, pardon me. Beyond that point, they still need to turn in a storm water report, and these plans aren't even stamped by the PE or the surveyor.
Again, I think we're a little bit hamstrung here in that we're expecting that Joe would be dialing into this meeting. So again, I would say, I guess, that probably makes more sense, at least from my perspective, to it's hard to proceed really without him on the phone. And it is something which we can bring to, we can bring these to his attention, and be prepared with a response, when we appear before you again, which I believe would be on the 22nd. But some of the questions of a technical nature, I can't really respond to, and Bob has done the survey work, but he's not an engineer, so we will certainly relay this information to him, so that he can come to the next meeting with a prepared response to the issues that you've raised.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're requesting to continue this whole thing to the next meeting.
Yes.
Anyone from the public have any comments? There being none, could I have a motion to continue this to the next meeting on September 22nd?
It's Ronnie Brooks, and I'll make that motion.
Okay, Wendy Steinhilber, second.
All those in favor? Steve?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Wendy?
Aye.
And myself is an aye. It is a vote.
Thank you very much, and look forward to continuing the discussion on the 22nd. Thank you again.
Thank you. Moving on to other business, we have to discuss the reorganization of the vice chair because our vice chair got elected to be a town selectman. Congratulations to Scott. I would like to make a nomination if no one has any objections, and I'd like to nominate Nicholas Lynch.
Sorry, John, who did you nominate?
Nick Lynch.
Okay, I'll second that nomination. Wendy Steinhilber seconds the nomination.
All those in favor? Ron Brooks?
Aye.
Wendy?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
And myself and as I, welcome to being vice chair, Nick.
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Nick.
You have something?
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
Adam has something he'd like to read from Scott, I believe.
Yes, so Scott sent me an email to read to you all. Say thank you, Wendy, Ron, Nick, John, and Steve. It has been an honor working with you all over the past several years. I believe in the work we have done. Adam, thank you for your guidance in the meeting. It is comforting to have your knowledge and experience backing us. Keep the mission moving forward, and I know that I'll miss serving with you all, but I'll always have your support. That was Scott Wren's words. Congratulations to Scott on his new position.
Congratulations, Scott.
Yeah, congrats, Scott. Good luck. We wish you the best.
Okay, was there something you want to discuss about the Open Space Committee?
Yes, so the Open Space Committee is going to be organizing the next month or so. I mentioned this a few months ago, maybe at the beginning of the summer. We're looking to offer spots to the Board of Selectmen, the Planning Board, and the Conservation Commission. It'd be nice to have someone from these boards represent the boards on the Open Space Committee. For those that don't know, the Open Space and Recreation Plan is kind of a required plan for certain grants. Auburn's plan is expiring in November 2021, so we've got about a year to rewrite it. It was written in 2013, so it's a little bit dated. It's time to update it. The committee will be basically guiding the development of the plan. There's a lot of goals and strategies that need to be developed. There's public outreach that needs to be done. So, yeah, if somebody from the planning board would like to represent this committee, or if somebody would like to nominate someone to represent the committee, that would be great. If no one is interested, we'll open your spot up to the community at large. Get a volunteer that way.
And can I ask Adam, how often will they be meeting and on what day?
I'm estimating about once a month. I don't have a day or date yet. That I figure I'll kind of leave up to setting once the committee organizes. My preference would be Monday or Tuesday nights, but that's be up to the committee what night they like to meet.
Okay, thank you.
So I'd like to volunteer if no one else wants to do it. I think I would enjoy doing something like that.
Terrific.
All right, great. Then I will be in touch, Steve, get you set up to be on the committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. There are no decisions. There are no minutes to review. No business unforeseen by the chair. I don't believe there's anything of that. Member and town planner update?
Cool.
Other than Scott leaving. So may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion, John.
Ronnie and I are chomping at the bit. No, I'll second Ron's motion. Wendy Steinhilber seconds Ron's motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Steve?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Wendy?
Yep, aye.
Myself, aye. It
I'm
is-
hearing you, John.
It is a vote, and the next meeting is September 22nd. See y'all then.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Thank you.